Good evening, everybody. Welcome. Come on in. I'm so excited to see everybody. This is Jim Tanner. I'm your host for our business overview, and I'm excited to be here with you. I make my home in the suburbs of Boston, Massachusetts, what we call Metro West out here, about 18 minutes west of Fenway Park for the baseball fans in attendance. I just want to give you a couple housekeeping items. We've got it set up so that only a few people can actually unmute and share their voices here, and that's just to keep the noise down because we're going to have a lot of folks joining us. And but what we'd love for you to do, as you're seeing some folks are already doing, is communicate with us through the chat in the Zoom and share with us where you're zooming in from today. And I'm seeing folks already doing that. So we've got Mike in Connecticut, we've got Ohio. Welcome everybody. And let's see, Connecticut, South Carolina, Los Angeles. Steve, welcome. Great to have you out here. Florida, welcome. Houston, Texas, great. And just keep that coming. And I'm going to kick us off here at Linfield, Mass. Jessica, welcome. Not too far from me. Toledo, Ohio, great job. So as we're getting started here today, I just want to give you an idea of what you're going to be experiencing. We're going to respect your time. You're going to hear about our incredible company, this opportunity that you were invited to learn something about here this evening. So as you're getting settled in and you're ready to listen and you're removing all the distractions around you, you might want to grab a pen and paper, jot down anything that comes to your mind while you're hearing this information. I know that when I heard for the first time nearly 20 years ago what you're about to hear, it was revolutionary for me. And it would be an understatement even to say that it changed the trajectory of my life because it was so much more profound than that. I know that's a bold promise to say that you're going to experience something profound in a Zoom meeting because you've probably been invited to a lot of Zoom meetings over the last few years. But if you buckle in and listen intently and pay close attention, I think you're going to know that what I'm saying to you right now is absolutely true and accurate. And so you're going to be hearing from two of my business partners here this evening. I'm going to be stepping out of the way here in a moment. And in addition to them, you're going to hear some other voices of folks that are on this journey and mission with us. So I'm going to introduce the person that you're going to first be hearing from, Miss Venus Powers. Miss Powers makes her home in South Carolina and also serves our company in one of the direct management leadership roles in South Carolina as well. She'll tell her story. She's a top producer with our company. She's someone who knows 100% of the information that you're going to need to make an important decision today. She loves to help people. She loves to have fun. And you're going to get great information and insight from her as well. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Zoom, Miss Venus Powers.
Thank you so much, Jim. Yeah, I appreciate it. I am in South Carolina and I love it down here. I grew up here. In a manner of speaking, hopscotching up and down the Eastern Seaboard. But, my background is actually in technology startups. And I, was in companies where we were bought and sold. We, built the company, then someone wanted to buy it, or, the venture capital wanted to, buy it, give it to someone else or have someone else pay for it. And it was a great time. And we were able to affect change in a lot of different industries. And, but when you're bought and sold, you have layoffs and you have acquisitions. And, sometimes you're a part of the acquisition and sometimes you're not. And the worst part is when you have to tell your friends, when you're put in a position of saying, Connie, I'm sorry, but you're on the list of people who are not going to be moving to the new company with us. And, you have to say goodbye to your friends. And then, sometimes that's a very sad moment, even though you're excited about the new adventure. And then, you get going one after another. And then you get into this new company that's been around for a long time. And then 9 days or 10 days before the $10,000 stock options that they gave you to move to the new company vests, they lay you off with 140 other people. And you're like, wow. So what do you do with that, right? So I found another career where I worked from home because my children's father had become sick. And it was an unbelievable work from home opportunity. It was legitimate. We were working for healthcare technology companies doing lead generation across the nation. And, I got to meet a lot of really wonderful people. And the company was going very strong. And then about 6.5 years in, and 3 years after my husband passed away, they started not managing their clients' expectations properly. And our retention rate went down. And you will learn in this company that retention is the lifeblood of your business. And it was the lifeblood of theirs. And so when we had clients renew or stay with us for long periods of time, I received renewal bonuses, quarterly bonuses. I got sign-on bonuses when I helped bring a client back. And when the company starts making decisions that the clients don't like, you don't get those bonuses anymore, where, a $3,000 bonus becomes a $300 bonus. It's a lot of money. And so I realized I needed to find something different. And many of you have watched a 20-minute video, either with Mark Riches or another leader in our organization, that made you decide to come to this company. And in that 20 minutes, my life was redefined, just like Jim's was across the lunch table. And I realized what an opportunity this was. And I had been introduced to prepaid legal when I was 20 years old or 21 years old. And I was actually a paralegal at the time. And I was like, what kind of attorney are you going to get for $17 a month? I know what they charge because I do the billing at our office. And so when I've come to find out what Legal Shield really had to offer, I was quite amazed. And then if you look in this grid view here, these people have truly become our family. Or they're not just colleagues. I mean, everyone here is family. We depend on each other when we travel. We depend on each other, for helping with our associates. Even if we're not in one another's upline or downline, we still help one another. And so those types of things give you an idea of where you want to be in a company. And I'm going to share my screen with you. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about our company, actually. And give me just a second to get this thing out of the way. There you go. Everybody see it? Fantastic. All right. So we do call this your opportunity and your freedom, because it truly is. You have the opportunity to live life by your terms, or you have the freedom, to live how you want to once you are established. 2020, the world changed forever. We learned that you can work from home no matter what job you're in, right? So if you have a desk job, they sent you home with a computer. Well, what happened was, when they decided they wanted everybody to come back to the office, people were like, well, wait a minute, I've been doing this job for 2 years at my house. Why do I need to now commute? Why do I need to go to the dry cleaners? Why do I need to spend money on gas and buy new tires all the time? They wanted, an income opportunity. They wanted to work from anywhere. They wanted more time to have or build their business or just do their job. And they wanted more flexibility and independence, because I can tell you, as a mother who has worked from home since the day my children were born, my son is going to turn 18 in December. My children have never known me to have to do a commute. And that is something that, I lay no price on. I mean, it is priceless to me. And right now, honestly, everyone needs a backup plan. You have to have something to fall back on. You have to have a plan B. And if you don't, then today is the day. Today's the day to decide your plan B. So we have 3 types of income, and there's linear income, where you trade time for money. You go to work for 8 hours today, 8 hours tomorrow, 40 hours during the week. And you'll hear about that 40-40-40 plan later. But, you have to continue to go to work each week in order to get paid. And you're only getting paid one time for that 8 hours, or that 1 hour you're getting paid. You're not going to get paid for that same hour again unless you show up the next day. And then we have leverage income, where you work with a team, or, and you have potential income that is an override income. So you can be a sales manager at any store and you get overrides. You can be a vice president of a company and you get paid bonuses or compensation based on the performance of your team. And that is called leveraged income. The best kind of income is residual income. And there are a lot of companies that have a residual income plan, but once you leave that company, that residual income cuts off. But with Legal Shield, it does not. And John Fehrenbach will go over that with you all in a little while. But you really want to create something that can be a part of your retirement plan. And that is the goal, truly, for your business. So you want to evaluate a few things: the company, the need in the marketplace, the products, what products do we have? Are they, credible? The compensation plan and the timing. And I can tell you that whether it's today, tomorrow, next week, next year, the timing is going to be right. And you have to do it when it's right for you. But the timing right now is right. It's awesome. So I'm going to tell you a little bit about our founder, Harlan Stonecipher. Our company was derived from an accident. He was in a car accident. Someone hit him, and it wasn't even his fault. And they sued him. I mean, he had car insurance, he had health insurance, he had life insurance. If, heaven forbid, he would have passed away during it, his family would have been taken care of. But that wasn't enough. The people who hit him decided they wanted to be compensated, and it was their fault. Well, it nearly broke him, and he felt like that wasn't fair, because he realized that you only have access to the legal system if you can afford it. And he decided that he didn't like that, and he wanted to be able to create a system where no matter your economic status, your social status, your race, your religion, whatever you are at in your life, if you have a degree or don't have a degree, you should be able to afford legal access. So he developed this company, and our headquarters is in Ada, Oklahoma. Connie and Sonora and I actually went there together, and it was a great day. We had the best time. We got to tour and see all of the history. We were established in 1972. I was established in 1971, so, I feel like I'm like, kind of blood sisters with the company. That we've been protecting and empowering about 4.5 million lives in US and Canada, and that grows every day. We have 1,000 new memberships every day. So that's just incredible, right? And our vision really is to provide equal access to liberty, equality, opportunity, and justice that every human deserves. An opportunity not just to have access to the legal system, but opportunity to have access to an income plan that is sustainable for you and your family for generations to come. And John Fehrenbach will go over that with you all in a little bit. Now I'm going to talk to you about a few things that are interesting. So Forbes, Yahoo, CNBC, Bloomberg, these are all names you recognize in the industry. And these people recognize ID Shield and Legal Shield as number one in our class, in our industry. And we have a A+ Better Business Bureau rating. And I know you'll say, well, I looked on Better Business Bureau and there was one complaint. Well, nobody's going to get on there and, post a whole bunch of, fantastic news. You just have to trust us. Go to Forbes. They'll tell you we're great. So if you want to think about disruptive income, let's talk about, things that have made your life simpler, easier, and more affordable. And I don't know if you all remember shopping at the mall and then hanging out afterwards. But, we have something that has come into our world that has forever changed our lives, and it's called Amazon. And the Amazon truck actually slows down when it goes by my house to make sure he doesn't have a delivery for me. And he knows, my dog, and he knows my dog's name. My UPS driver in Virginia used to help me hide my son's Christmas gifts. And so much to the fact that when I moved from Virginia to South Carolina, I forgot that we hid some, and we found like presents. And so my kids were like, well, when did we get this? I was like, oh, a couple years ago. And so, they were still age appropriate, but it was a lot of fun. Now, here in Columbia, South Carolina, there was a place called Peaches that was in 5 Points, that when the new records or albums came out, we all went down there and we were all making sure that we got, the newest album, right? And you could, well, I don't know how old everybody on here is, but we used to get an LP, which is a big black circle, and you put it on a turntable. And then it moved, well, there was these 8-track block things too that we had when I was a little kid, and I thought that was so cool, this big, it looked like a cartridge. And then we had these little tiny cassette tapes, and then we had the DVDs, and then we had where you could buy the whole album from Amazon, because Amazon used to be a bookstore, right? And now we have Spotify. You can just buy one song, you can create a whole playlist, whatever you want to listen to. And, it's just at the snap of your finger. Well, like I said earlier, I was paralegal, And so when people wanted to meet with my attorney, they had to come into our office. They had to make an appointment. Most of the time they needed to dress up. There were a few people who did not. But now with the tap of your app on your phone, this little gadget right here, you can be in your pajamas and meet with your attorney, and they don't even know that you're in your pajamas. And you can have access to the legal system for, a number of things, and we'll go over that in just a moment. So, if you ever think about, have you ever wanted to revise or write a will? I mean, you guys can be honest. You can put a little thing in the chat if you don't have your will done, and I'm gonna give you a little lecture. Shame on you. You need to get that done because it's super important, especially if you have minor children. You need to make sure that you have a plan in place for your minor children. We'll go over that in a moment. But if you've ever been a victim of a security breach, at the hospitals or Target, if your credit card was affected by Target, been affected, heaven forbid, identity theft, had your identity stolen or treated unfairly. How many times have you said, let me speak to your supervisor? I know for a fact that I had to speak to a supervisor the other day about my going to the campground for my niece's wedding because they were not being very cooperative with me. And luckily I didn't have to have my attorney involved. And I'll tell you a real quick story. We went to Cookeville, Tennessee for a meeting with the success team, and we all made our reservations months in advance at this hotel. And when we got there, two of the people who rode with me, they had canceled their rooms because they overbooked. And I was like, we made these reservations months ago. She goes, I know, but we overbooked. I said, do you understand that we are with Legal Shield? And the woman was like, yes, can you give me 5 minutes? And within 5 minutes, that woman had rooms for my people and was like, the last thing I want to do is not accommodate the Legal Shield people. And I was like, there you go. Good girl. If you've ever gotten a traffic ticket, I've had a few of those, you just take a little picture of it. It's great. If you've been denied an insurance claim, if you have questions about your credit score, if your social media has been hacked, do you ever get a friend request from someone you've already been friends with and they tell you about this great new Social Security thing that's happening, and if you just send them your Cash App, they'll help you get some of that money back too? Don't send them anything. It's a scam. All right, so we're going to talk about Legal Shield. My thing will scroll. And so it is a mobile app. All you have to do is have a smartphone and you can download it. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It takes 3 seconds really to do it, or however, your internet speed is. You can get legal access immediately. I mean, I rarely have to be put on hold for more than a minute or two before I get in touch with the attorney if I call directly to the office. But, you can schedule a time for the attorneys to call you back as well, and they'll call you back during a time that's convenient for you, so that you can, get your questions answered. And in the meantime, you can take a picture of, any documentation that you want them to review, and they'll review it before they call you. And that way it saves a lot of time and you're able to get your questions answered quickly. So we give preventative law where you do unlimited questions and legal questions. Mike Riches will say, if you're just legally lonely, you can call them, but don't do that. Call them for a real reason. Legal advice on anything. If you are, a prize rose grower and your dog's neighbor or your neighbor's dog perpetually chews up your roses and you win lots of money with those roses, you can have the attorneys talk to your neighbor about keeping their dog out of your yard. And it seems like a small thing, but if your roses are your roses, but you can have contracts reviewed up to 15 pages, and you can have this across multiple states. So I have a home in Virginia. I have a timeshare in Jamaica. And sometimes I have to have documents reviewed from those areas. And I've never received a bill for having any of my contracts reviewed whatsoever. They will write letters and make phone calls on your behalf. And like I said earlier, life events, getting your will done is super important. Your will is important, but your living documents are super, super important. So you want someone who you trust that's going to make decisions for you financially and for your health and for your children if you're incapacitated in any way and cannot make decisions for yourself. Again, traffic ticket assistance, moving violations, civil trial defense. You get 60 hours a year, and it builds up to 300 hours over 5 years. And that's in its own bucket. So that's if someone tries to sue you, but you have trial defense or, trial time in every one of these buckets. So for tax audit assistance, for your traffic tickets, for, if you have to do probate or litigation or anything over that, they all have different hours included in them. So it's so much more than what you see in this little checklist, right? We also have 24-hour 7-day a week emergency protection. And I can tell you that this absolutely works. I called at 10 minutes to 5 on Friday before Christmas, and they talked to me for 45 minutes while I was driving down the interstate. And then first thing Monday morning, they called me to make sure that me and my family were okay and what they needed to do to help me. And for the next 3 months, they helped me with no charge. Zero. I've never received a bill from Legal Shield in almost 5 years. If you have your membership for 90 days, you can, work with them for an uncontested name change, adoption, separation, or divorce. And you want to make sure that that's something you really want to do. That I think that's why the time difference. So then we have our next product who's covered, right? So the member, your spouse or domestic partner, you do have to, choose which one you want to be covered. Never married dependent children under the age of 26 living at home who are full-time student. They've never been married. That's, a big deal. Dependent children under the age of 18, if you are a legal guardian, like I'm the legal guardian of my granddaughter, so she is included in my plan. And then if you have a physical or mentally disabled child, they're covered for their entire life under the plan. So then we have our ID Shield product, which is your identity theft protection. And you are so much more. People think, well, I have bad credit. It doesn't matter if someone steals my identity. You are more than your credit score, way much more than your credit score. Your credit score is only actually a very small part of who you are. That's just telling you how well you manage your money. And if you don't manage your money well, then that's okay. But your social security number, your passport, your driver's license, your medical ID. There was a situation where someone was in the hospital and someone had stolen their identity and had been in the hospital like 2 months prior at that same hospital. Well, they had a different blood type and a different health condition, and they based their medical decision on the person who stole their identity, and they gave this real person a medication and the wrong blood type in the transfusion, and this person died as a result of having their identity stolen. And so it is super important to protect every aspect that makes you, your social media. There are sites where you can check to see, where your name is being used on the dark web, and places that we can't go, ID Shield can go. And so, your privacy and reputation management on social media is super, super important. If you're, like myself, I don't post anything that is controversial on social media. And so the time that I posted my son's black eye from having an accident at school, just so I could update my family quickly, ID Shield sent me a notice and told me I was promoting violence, and it wasn't something typical of my profile. And I thought that was kind of a cool deal, because they were looking out for me, and they recognized that that's not something I normally post. So we have comprehensive restoration. If your identity is stolen in any way, we will restore it completely to pre-theft status. And we have a $1 million protection plan if your finances are impacted. One of the guys on our team, I don't know if it was his cousin or his sister, his husband was at home one day, and they called to verify some information for him to buy his dually for the RV that he had, or the travel trailer he had bought the day before. It's like $300,000 in vehicles in 24 hours. And he's like, I didn't buy anything. What are you talking about? And they're like, we were just calling to verify some final information to get everything ready for you. And he had actually not signed into his profile for his ID Shield where his wife had, and they got him all signed up, and they were able to, within a week, get all of that undone and off of his credit and out of his money and out of his name. And so it works fast. I mean, it's like immediate, So you also have Trend Micro Maximum Security. You can raise your hand, who hates getting that $140 a year surprise bill from Norton for protecting your computer, which is very annoying, right? So with Trend Micro, you don't need that because it comes with your ID Shield, so it's included in your plan. We have VPN Proxy One. You guys will constantly see me on the move, working from my car, working from the airport, working from somewhere odd. And my computer is completely protected because I have this protection on my computer. And password management, if you're a creature of habit and you keep your password for the same password for everything, ID Shield will help you manage that. Now, we do credit counseling and education. We do not do credit restoration, but we do help you understand how to manage your credit. And we have privacy management as well. Now, I did not talk to you about how much it costs for Legal Shield, so I apologize for skipping right by that. I don't think that it even popped up on my screen, but it's $29.95 per month for the Legal Shield, and that covers your family or individual. And then for individual, for 3 bureau, it is $19.95 per month for your ID Shield, or $34.95 a month for your family, and who's covered: the member's spouse or domestic partner, up to 10 dependent children under the age of 18, but it provides consultation and restoration services for children 18 to 26. But once your child turns 18, their identity becomes their own. And remember, just a moment ago, I was telling you that you needed to make sure that your living will, your financial power of attorney, those types of things are in place. When your child turns 18 and they are in an accident in any way, you lose the ability to tell the doctors what to do. And you lose the ability to access their bank accounts to help them manage their money. If they're incapacitated, you need to have those documents in place the day they turn 18. I mean, literally, like that morning, that should be your first phone call, is to get their documents in place, before they move forward. It's just so important to take care of your children. Now, I don't know who likes to save money. You can all raise your hands. I like to spend money, but I like to save money. And so we've got Legal Shield member perks, which is amazing, because every once in a while, my family and I, there's a whole bunch of us, but the 4 main ones of us, we like to go to the movies. And with member perks, we can go to the movies and one of us goes for free. And that big $18 bucket of popcorn is $5 for us. And so because of the concession stand discounts that we get as well, you get a percentage off of your Verizon bill. We have travel. We went to Oklahoma City. I went to the American Airlines because I generally try to only fly American. And the ticket was almost $800. And when I went through our member perks, it was $375. So it's almost $500 that I saved by using our member perks. And, I get my business cards at Office Depot. They're super inexpensive. And a number of people, our director of training, our field trainer director for the Southeast, he got a rental car to come to Charlotte from Atlanta for $64 for 3 days using his member perks. I mean, it was just like, we couldn't believe, like, we were adding up the money savings, and it was so incredible. A lot of my members and a lot of my associates actually sell Legal Shield based on their member perk savings versus even talking to them about the legal plan. And I hope that this is something that, really sends home for you, that the value that we bring to the marketplace and to your family and your local businesses and that type of thing. I want to turn it back over to my friend and colleague, Mr. John Fehrenbach. He is going to talk to you about how to get started and the compensation plan. And John, you all are going to love Mr. Fehrenbach's voice, because he has the most amazing voice. And so I'm going to stop sharing. Did you share your screen, John? You're on mute. You're on mute. I can't hear you.
You can hear me now.
Yes. I can hear you now. All right, I'm turning over to you.
I don't know why it muted. Venus, thank you. That was a wonderful job. And these member perks are one of the great things about having a Legal Shield and ID Shield. 400 different vendors are all vying for our business with discounts and promotions. And typically it's enough to offset our Legal Shield and ID Shield memberships. So, I mean, what a fantastic perk that we have available to us. Um, a little bit about me. It's been a little over 2 years I've been involved with Legal Shield, and I remember hearing what Venus just went over, and I was all in. I wrapped my arms around exactly why, I could use Legal Shield, make sure that my wills were up to date, my powers of attorney, and my all that type of stuff, as well as with my ID and all the electronic protection. I knew that I could use all that, and I knew people that would be helped by having those types of protections. So I was all in. I just like you listening to Venus tonight, I said, you know what, I got to have these things. And then I found out that I could actually get into a business where I could sell these things. And I thought to myself, you mean I can help people and actually make some money? I was definitely in. Um, I've done a lot of things in my life, not everything, but I've done auto glass installation. I've done home remodeling. I sold direct mail. I was in the steel business for a number of years and still am in the steel business. Um, but I got involved with Legal Shield because I was looking for, as Venus said, a plan B, something that would bring residual income to the table. Because I didn't have anything. Being in sales most of my life, I've only been as good as my last sale. So I needed something that was going to carry on for work I did this week, next week, and into future months that would carry on into future years. And that's where Legal Shield came into play. So listen, tonight I want to take some time and talk to you about the compensation plan. And if you'll give me 1 second here, we'll jump right into those slides if I can remember how my how my pointers work. So there is a small cost to getting involved with us. It's $49. It's almost a joke. $49. But listen, if you sell as an associate your first plan, and this is based on the 6490 plan, where you're selling Legal Shield and the Family ID Shield, you'll earn $70 as an associate. So you're telling me that I get paid $70 for selling a 6490 plan, yet it's only $49 to get involved? That's exactly what I'm telling you about. So, by the way, if you can find and protect 3 families or 5 families, you'll automatically get promoted. And that promotion, my machine's not working right here tonight. That promotion as senior associate, that same 6490 plan is going to pay you $90. And for doing that, you'll also get what they call a fast start bonus. If you find those 5 families within your 5 days, or you find 3 people to sell a plan to and somebody that wants to do this business with you within your first 20 days, they call that a fast start bonus, and you get $100. Now, I know that's not enough to change your address, but it's certainly enough to tell yourself, as you do this thing, you're going to do everything. And going after the bonuses, reaching and hitting goals, that's all kind of a part of this business and helping you to go down a path. Now, as you work your way through the promotions, and the one thing I love about this company is that it doesn't rely on anybody, nor the way I look, the way I talk, the way I dress, the way I comb my hair. None of that matters. The only thing that matters in promotions is my sales and sales volume. And that will work me up, as you can see, through the levels of the company. Once I get to an executive director level, that same 6490 plan is gonna bring me $370 in income. So as an executive director, you're going to learn that. So if you were to find 5 people that were doing that, and you sold, excuse me, if you sold 5 of those a month, you'd be earning $1,850 a month, and which is a nice part-time income, right? If you did that weekly instead of monthly, you'd be earning $96,200 a month, just to kind of give you an idea what that kind of money can bring you. So those are the reasons to work your way up through the levels and to get yourself to executive director. Now, that executive director is the monthly qualifier, so you have to qualify that monthly. But as long as you're doing what we just talked about, selling your 5 plans a month or doing that every week, you will qualify for that executive director level. I'm sorry, folks. So here, listen, this is what's really neat, okay? As you can build a team and you could bring me on as a go-getter, as an associate. And let's say I go out in my first week and I sell that 64.90 plan and I earn my $70. Well, you're sitting at the executive director level. So you would receive an override for helping me and teaching me this business of $300. Now imagine if you had 5 of me doing that. What if you had 10 of me doing that? Now you can see why we have so many people succeeding in our business. So we're going to talk a little bit tonight about the Wheel of Opportunity. It's not just Legal Shield, it's not just ID Shield, although those are flagship products, but we have employee benefits plans. We have Legal Shield and for businesses, commercial driver plans. We have public safety plans for police and firefighters, specialty plans for gun owners, home businesses, rideshare and delivery folks, and even trial defense. And then, of course, we have team building opportunities and opportunities for self-improvement, as witnessed by all the folks in this room today. These are a lot of folks that are on our team, and we are all here to help each other and to lift each other when things might not be going quite our way. But everybody's here to help each other out and to make sure that we are headed in the right direction. Now, the company likes to take care of us. So they have these performance club incentives, trips, and bonuses. First off, you can earn up to a $500 a month bonus by becoming performance club qualified. And that takes a couple years to get to the $500. But if you qualify within your first 3 months, you start getting your performance club bonuses. And then after 12 months, it goes up, and 24 months, it goes up again. They try and take care of us and through this performance club. What's really neat is the performance club trips. My first year in this business, through a lot of effort that I had gone through, I had won one of these performance club trips to Maui, Hawaii. And let me tell you something, when they say it's all expenses paid and no expenses spared, they mean it. The only reason I had my wallet was to buy souvenirs. My wife and I went on this trip, and our plane flight, our hotel, our meals, everything was taken care of. And these trips are open to everyone as long as you qualify. And the qualifying isn't terrible. I mean, it's work. There's nothing easy in this life, right? You got to work at it. But to get these performance club trips is more than worth going. They just came back from Puerto Vallarta this summer, and we're headed to Jamaica next summer. So that's a performance club trip for next summer. Let me introduce to you some of my other business partners here this evening. Venus has done such a wonderful job telling us about the plans. Now you know a little bit about the income and how you can make money. Let's hear how some of the folks in this business are doing with their businesses. And let's start with Tammy Martin. Tammy?
Hi, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
We can.
Okay. Well, I am so excited to be here. My mind is just going a million miles an hour. I just got in from jiu-jitsu classes, so I'm trying from that to doing this. But I am so excited. I have been a part of Legal Shield for years, and I actually came from another direct sale company and was very successful with that and thought I would be doing that until the end of time. But as you know, life can throw us a curveball, and I got a curveball threw at me. I had to take care of my 2 grandchildren, and once that was all over, it was like I had no idea what I wanted to do. But one thing I knew, I needed residual income because I don't know about y'all if you know, thought about when you get to retirement age. I don't know if Social Security will be here when I get there. Of course, I have a few years, but I just, you know, I wanted something in place. And so I learned about how great our residual is, and they are a book of business that we can own. And I like that I was able to wheel that down to my children or my grandchildren, and also with a leverage income with managing a sales team. And I love in that. I love the relationships we have here. I love the training, the community. And you know, this is a business that's been in.
Hey, Tammy, you cut out. Did we lose you, Tammy? We might have lost Tammy. Let's head to Connecticut. Michael Robideau, would you tell us a little bit about your journey here with Legal Shield?
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Fehrenbach. Welcome, everybody. I come from a corporate and management background. My last position, what I started my career off as versus what I finished my career, were two completely different roles. Partway through my tenure there, I was moved to shift work. That means working 6 to 6, either 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., 6 p.m. to 6 a.m., flopping back and forth, days to nights, nights to days. That schedule's not conducive to life, let alone family life. And early on, I've always wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know what that business was. And the schedule that I was working didn't leave me with a whole lot of time to look into different businesses. And honestly, the 40-40-40 plan wasn't working for me. You work 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life for 40% of your pay. So 6 years ago, after working that crazy schedule for a number of years, I took a leave of absence and Legal Shield found me. This business has allowed me to work my schedule, my work around my family, not the other way around that we're so used to. And through the leveraged income, leveraged time, I truly believe that the perfect opportunity found me. And everybody that's a guest, you couldn't ask for a better group of people to be connected with and a better system to have within Legal Shield. I encourage all of you to plug into the tools, and I look forward to having you join us. Thank you for allowing me to share. Back to you, Mr. Fehrenbach.
Michael, thank you very much. That life-work balance is crazy important, and this business certainly allows for that leeway, for sure. Let's head across the country to Sonora Dantzler. Sonora, can you tell us a little bit about your journey, please?
Absolutely. And thank you so much, John, for allowing me to share. Hey, everybody. I came from corporate America. I was working about 70, 80 plus hours a week. I'm sure a lot of you can definitely relate to that. As a matter of fact, if you're still relating to that or can relate, just go ahead and put a number 1 right down there in the chat. But for me, I was missing everything that was important to me. I was missing my husband. I was missing the kids, the family, you know, my faith, fitness, finance, all the important things. And then I saw this opportunity and I said, you know what? I could probably do this in my spare time and it'll definitely fit into all my super busy schedule. So fast forward to today, I'm still like super busy. As a matter of fact, I've been moving for the last 4 days. But the great part about it is that I do this business part-time. I'm still busy. I follow this amazing system that you've heard so much already about it. I stay plugged in. I work in my local market in Colorado Springs and in Colorado, which I'm so excited about that as well. I work with small business owners, their employees, their families, but I'm also building a team here locally and coast to coast of business professionals. So what is next for me, you ask? Well, follow me on social media. You'll definitely find out. But I'm going to just continue to build my business coast to coast, continue to help all of those individuals as well. And that's actually one of the most important things to me, to make a difference in all the lives that I touch, because there's so many people out there that need this membership. And there's so many people that are looking for a plan B. Well, how about a plan A through Z is what they're looking for. So I'll turn it back over to you, John. And thank you so much for allowing me to share.
Sonora, thank you very much. It reminds me of a particular motto: always be learning, always be coachable, no matter what your age, no matter what you're doing, and continuous education is very important. Let's head back to Maine. Connie Ayotte, would you share a little bit of your story with us this evening?
Yes, thanks, John. My name's Connie Ayotte. Currently, I'm in Maine, but I've just relocated to sunny Florida. My background is nursing. I worked 31 years in the nursing field. And if any of you know healthcare, you work 7 days a week, weekends, holidays, you miss everything. And I'm also a mama of 3 kids, grown now, but I missed a lot. I worked 60, 80, you name it, whatever it was to support. I was a single mama for a long time. Um, and I just had no time freedom. I didn't know any different. I didn't learn what linear income was. I didn't know that if I wanted more money, I just got another job, right? To make ends meet and to provide for my family. When this company was introduced to me, I hadn't got our wills done. That was really what opened my eyes to Legal Shield. It was going to be $1,200, and I worked paycheck to paycheck and said, no way, I can't afford that. Even though I knew as a nurse that we needed to have those documents in place. We are going to check out eventually, and those need to be in place for my children. So I said yes, and then I listened to the opportunity piece. I am somebody who loves helping people and making a difference. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, like going to a good restaurant, a movie. I started using my membership. I mean, I would call my law firm 4 or 5 times a month. Just to have questions answered. And I'm like, I'm going to share this, right? And for a little bit of investment, I had no business experience, absolutely zero. So if you are that person, you can do this business. And it has allowed me time freedom. My last baby, my last daughter, who was competed in dance, I never had to miss a dance competition. We traveled. But what Legal Shield has brought to me is the family and the community. We're in this together. We do this together. You don't have to worry about learning everything. We're here to help you and teach you along the way. And it's allowed me to travel to dozens and dozens of places. And my favorite place to work my business is the beach. And now I get to do that full time. Because of this business, I've been able to transgress, my vision board. I have a vision board. Florida was on that to move. And because of Legal Shield, I've moved to my dream state. So come along, join with us. If you've got questions, I'm happy to help travel wherever and answer questions for you. So thanks, John.
Connie, thank you. Your testimony reminded me of the saying that I like to say, that I'm not in business. I'm in business for myself, but I'm not by myself because of this family of folks that are around us. Listen, folks, tonight you've heard from a number of different people. Hopefully, you've seen or heard some of the information that you were looking for, and we've answered some questions for you. Going back a little bit to what Venus talked about, 5 areas to evaluate, right? The company, Legal Shield, been in business for 51 years, started by accident, if you will, by a founder who was on a mission, and that mission is still relevant today. Is there a need in the marketplace? Well, I don't know about you, but I always say, what a crazy litigious society we live in today. And not just because of that, but because we don't understand as laymen, at least I don't, the ins and outs, little intricacies of the justice system. So I need an attorney that has his arms fully wrapped around the justice system so he can help me and guide me through it. And our products, Legal Shield and ID Shield, holy smokes. Number 1 rated ID protection service is ID Shield, and there's no other company in the class that Legal Shield is in. And our aggressive compensation plan, I'm telling you, you promote yourself, 5 sales, you get your first promotion. And it's I think it's a 23% promotion in commissions. And you work your way up to you're making that $370. I mean, what company, tells you how much you're going to be making based on your promotional levels? No other company does that. And the residual income, that is massive as far as I'm concerned. I'm a little older, maybe a little older than Venus, but that's my retirement plan. That is my retirement plan, is that residual income. And the timing, Jim Tanner likes to say that the T in timing is not as important as the T in talent. But this is the right time. I wouldn't have wanted to get involved in this business 51 years ago with Harlan Stonecipher. It was a battle. It was a fight. It was a new concept Today, 51 years later, it's an app on our phone that all we have to do is tap it, and we're in touch with our attorneys. We're in touch with the private investigators at ID Shield to take care of us. It's just an unbelievable opportunity at the right time. So how do you become an associate? Well, first off, you can start part-time and you can work from anywhere. Connie said she's worked from the beach. I've worked from my vacation spots. You have a willable book of business. So that residual income that I was talking about is my retirement plan. That's also something that I plan to will to my children and maybe their children and their children's children. Residual income is the lifetime of somebody's membership. We have excellent training, fast start training classes, ongoing weekly trainings similar to this one. We had 2 others today, and alignment with a personal mentor. Now, a lot of companies, they'll hand you a book and wish you good luck, but not us, okay? If you want to run, we'll run with you. If you want to walk, we'll walk with you, whatever it takes. And right now, it's only $49. I don't know any business that you can get involved in that's only $49. If you look at I'm not going to start talking about different franchises, but you're talking $500, $5,000, $50,000, $500,000 for some of these businesses to get involved with. Don't let that $49 fool you. Do not let it fool you. This is a 6-figure, multi-million-dollar income business. Do not let that $49 fool you. So to get started, it's pretty simple. First off, you just need to enroll in the membership. Number 2, become an associate. And then I think it was Sonora that was talking about getting connected. Get connected to additional training, get connected to additional information, and your sponsor will help you do all of that. So tonight, if you're sitting next to the person who invited you to this meeting and you're new, give them a hug, tell them thank you, get signed up this evening. If you're not sitting next to them, text them right now. Say, hey, I'm ready to get started, and let's go. What are my next steps? And they will get you started. Let's go. Don't wait any longer. Stop if I could say it, stop procrastinating. We'd love to have you here at Legal Shield and part of the Agents of Change mission. Good night, everybody, and welcome to Legal Shield. Have a good evening.